And I relate to that because like when they went over the Lalafell face, the bloody Lalafell face for like half an hour or something, I was like, I love you, Yoshi P, so much, but why? Why this emphasis on the Lalafell face? And then I finally downloaded the benchmark and saw all the characters actually like in the thing, like actually on my own computer with like maxed out settings. Thank God I have the PC that I do. I definitely don't take it for granted. And I was like, wow, this actually is like really impactful on the graphics. Even just rotating your camera and not seeing things like blurt out in the background and like just be there, just it looks so good.
I wish they had, and this isn't really how graphics updates work, but I wish they'd been able to kind of just show brief pictures along the way, and we would have been happy with those. But what would have happened is like people would have had to assume everything that was missing, so they had to go into all this detail just to try to show a progress report. And what I really wanted was this presentation. I really didn't want anything along the way because seeing it partial, I do think they got some good feedback. So like, I guess they're glad they did it, but it was a lot like of previous live letters that were dedicated to a product that wasn't final. And this just felt so much more polished. The grass, the ground detail, it's going to look a lot better. Xander, I know you've been like in and out of the community as you've had other commitments. Like how much of the graphics update had you kind of been aware of prior to this?
So I had known that they were planning on doing a graphics update, but I didn't know how much it was actually going to impact the game and or performance and what type of system you needed. And so when I had actually started seeing the benchmark for stuff that people were posting, I thought it looked absolutely incredible. I've not actually done anything for the benchmark myself. And to answer your previous question, I didn't see the live letter, but I have seen some of the slides, and everything looks incredible. I mean, even for something that isn't completely refined and finished, I'm excited for it. I don't know if
that's the best place to
handle
be.
it, but
You're in the best place.
That's going to be the real interesting thing in terms of handling it. That's why the benchmark is both important, but it's going to be interesting to see as people step into it if it's like, oh, we're having some performance issues, because as like the systems and the requirements go up, sometimes that does mean that people who've been kind of on that line get below the line, and it's never fun to be like, hey, this game and this world that you love, now there's another cost on top of the expansion cost. So but I think and hope that being that this is just not going to cut out too many. There's not going to be too many people who end up suffering because the performance increase.
I do think they can see the hardware that we're logging in with, so like they know what percentage of players they're giving up, and then they're hoping that they're not giving up all those people. They're hoping that some of those people just aren't upgrading because they don't have to, and then by giving us advance notice, I mean, they first told us minimum spec increase. I mean, it wasn't this week. It was like I don't know, a month or two ago.
Yeah.
So like, people have had 3 or 4 months to say, okay, like I'm not going to meet the RAM requirements. Or I've seen some people online saying, is it really going to take this much hard drive space? So we've had time that, if you're short $100, $200 upgrade, that maybe you can make that happen. And like, this isn't